How you doing? This is Body by Felton, and I'm Felton. And I want to thank everybody for the questions that you're sending in. I've been getting some great questions. And the question for today is carbohydrates. When is the best time to consume your carbohydrates? Wonderful question, and I always let people know to beware of the carbs. And I am not the one that says we should not do carbs at all, but carbs must be done in a balanced way. And so when we talk about consuming carbohydrates, there is the best time, the better time, and the optimum time to consume carbohydrates. But first, let me say this here that don't consume carbohydrates if you don't really need them. And what do I mean by that? Well, there's three times where carbohydrates benefits the body the best, and one of those times is first thing in the morning when you wake up. And that gives you the energy source that you need to continue through the day. Especially if you're that person that does not do carbs in the evening before you go to bed, and you do your proteins and maybe your vegetables, and you don't do any complex carbohydrates. So then, if you don't do complex carbohydrates like your rices and your potatoes, and only you do vegetables in the evening before you go to bed, then one of those best times to do carbs in the morning that gives your body energy source that it needs to move you through the day. The second time that you want to do carbohydrates is right before a workout. And so right before a workout is when you want to consume carbs, and you don't want to consume too much of the carbs right before the workout, but you want to have just enough carbs to get you through the workout. The optimum time for carbohydrates is right after a workout. And that's when you can consume the majority of your carbohydrates, is right after your workout, because that's when you have depleted the glucose out of the bloodstream, you've depleted the glucose out of the muscle fibers, and you've utilized the glucose that's been stored up in the liver. So then the optimum time for consuming your carbohydrates is right after the workout. So a lot of people say, well, how much carbs can I consume right after a workout? I can say you can consume up to 100 grams of carb right after workout, depending on your body size and the kind of exercise you do, especially if you're doing a lot of weight resistance training. That's why I'm a great proponent of weight resistance training, because when you utilize your muscle, you're squeezing the glucose out. You're squeezing, getting all that energy in the form of glucose out of the muscle. So now you need to replace that glucose back into the muscle, but don't do too much, because once again, if you do too much carbs, it's going to spill over to fat, and that is counterproductive for what we're trying to accomplish. So we want to consume carbohydrates in the morning when we wake up, no more than 25 to 35 grams of carbs. Second time is before you work out. Once again, maybe 35 grams of carb just to get you through the workout. And then after your workout, and that's when you can consume the majority of your carbohydrates. Now, any other time during the day, your carbohydrates need to come from your vegetables. And those are the kind of carbohydrates that are high fiber carbohydrates, that they're slower to digest and process, and it does give you the nutrients or the micronutrients that you need. So remember, carbohydrates are good for you. You need those carbohydrates. The body loves carbs. So we need to give the body what it needs in order to perform and sustain us throughout the day. I hope that answers your question. And once again, if there are any other questions you have, please let me know about that. And write a comment for me at the bottom of this here page, and let me know how this benefits you. And then, of course, in that, you can send me some more questions. Okay, and then we're going to try to load you up with the information and start spitting out more knowledge to everyone that is viewing it.